that actually was me that shot myself during that take. John thought it would be an excellent element to add to the song, but he wanted me to shit myself live for every take. I had food poisoning, so it didn't seem like too difficult of a task when he told me about it. Hitting wrong notes, playing at the wrong tempo, and even just playing the wrong song sometimes. And I would shart myself at the beginning of every take. This eventually got to be quite a problem, as my body was quite low on its supply of feces to excrete out my bunghole, and I was rapidly becoming dehydrated. John Dwyer, seemingly knowing this, expressed a higher and higher level of delight with the greater amount of pain it took to shart myself at the beginning of every take. Finally, after take 63, they recorded the whole song. It took all my mental fortitude to force out that last shart, with most of the fluid trickling down my leg, this time being blood. I collapsed on the studio floor, and I came to an alley with all of the cash removed from my wallet and replaced with Dwyer dollars, paper money with a crude cutout of John's face glued to the center. So that was a pretty crazy day. On a side note, have you guys ever noticed osees says woo, just like King Gizzard? Kinda seems like JPD and Co ripped off Stu Mackenzie and his gang of lizard wizards.
Experience I had with Dwyer after a live show. I met Dwyer up close after a show once. The guy is a fucking midget. Me, I'm no giant myself, I can assure you this is no exaggeration. I heard people around me murmuring about how they talked to him, so I was excited, but when I got to where all the fuss was coming from I failed to see where he actually was. I looked around for a bit and suddenly heard a really high-pitched voice calling out to me. "You. Hey. Hey. Come," the owner of it yelled. I still couldn't figure out where it was coming from. "Down here." It screamed, and at last by my feet I found John Dwyer himself, who clearly noticed my confusion. He apologized and we talked a bit about Orc, which at the time had just come out, and he signed my guitar pick. He was a pretty nice guy, despite how wild he is on stage. He was probably between 6'8" tall, and while it wasn't brought up during the conversation it was clear he saw I noticed it. I don't know how, but somehow on stage I never noticed his outstandingly tiny size. Unfortunately though, he had to go after a few minutes, so we stopped talking pretty abruptly. Unforgettable show though.
Quick summary of the beef between Dwyer and Nanak for anyone out of the loop. The whole situation has been kinda confusing, I know it has been for me at least, so I figured I'd try to explain it to anyone who hasn't really been updated yet. Basically the dudes behind Narnak were friends of John for a while, and early stuff, notably Island Raiders, was released by them. Recently though it seems they've been posting a bunch of mean shit about John on social media, and basically the story is, from what I understood, that John asked one of the guys there for a ham sandwich. I think this was right after a tour, so he was really waiting for a good sandwich. Narnak guy was taking a long time to make it though, so when he brought it to John, John said, "Finally, geez, what took you so long?" Narnak guy, I think his name is Shahan, put a lot of effort into it though, so he snappily replied, "None of your business, shorty." Now, an important detail which some people who saw them live might know, is that John is tiny. I don't mean like normal short guy height, I mean that the dude is about a dozen inches tall, max. Naturally he's pretty self-conscious about his height, and got really mad and threatened to just cut the deal between them for good, which enraged Shahan even more. They started screaming and eventually things led to physical violence, which peaked when John smashed a chair over Shahan's head, knocking him out. Ever since then they've kind of been hissy at each other, and recently there was that whole thing about that supposed April release. It's really a shame the two friends broke into such a petty fight. IMO, hopefully they stop it soon before something bad happens.